All right. It's that time again. Good morning, good morning. It's once again time to lose money in the market. Looks like we have a couple gappers to start here. VELO. Looks like we might have news on it. We do. Okay, before I go ahead and start that though, let me just do some final adjustments. All right. Should be good to go. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. So pretty crazy move on VELO, honestly, right? $2 move. Looks like a somewhat higher float, too. Okay, so they secured a contract for $32 million from Department of War. That alone should be a pretty strong catalyst, securing a contract. I didn't want to map it. Okay. Good morning, John. Good morning, Flip Flop. Good morning, everybody. We also have CMCT that's moving as well. AZI, I didn't see that one. Wow, yeah, AZI is moving a lot as well. I really like the VELO catalyst, but if AZI is moving like that, it might detract from this move. Yeah, that's a pretty strong move, too. Keep an eye on VELO. If this thing pulls back hard on low volume, I like the setup for it. You've got the catalyst driving it. The daily chart is actually, I would actually argue, bearish for what I'm looking for. But maybe around the $12. Yeah, it already bounced there, though. Yeah, this one could move quite a lot. Volume's relatively low for what I would want to see, too. I think I need to pivot for now. Definitely keeping VELO on watch, though. So what happened with this one? What is the news here? No live news for this move. Just a random spike of volume. This probably needs to be half size. Yeah, the fact this has no news and it's spiking like this is very strange. It did this pre-market this morning, too. This could be just a continuation of this move we've seen. Although this one acted very strange the last time I traded. I think this was Friday. Yeah, with how many times it was rejecting. There were large sell orders pushing it down, but maybe there's a bigger narrative here. If this thing, even with the orders pushing it down here, maybe there was a bigger narrative. CMCT also no news and pretty good move. Yeah, I mean, it's spiked. Granted, it's retraced most of the move. It is interesting that these stocks are spiking. And, like, I want to check the floats on them real quick. Let me go ahead and remove all these. Yeah, so the two stocks that are pumping here, the one had no news, and this one appears to also have been just rather a continuation. So we could have a theme of low cap or low float stocks moving. If you're early to the stream here, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. Help me get this out to more people. But no pressure. Yeah, VELO kind of consolidating around 1250 area. Don't really want to buy it here because this could do a big move up or down, just considering how this move resolved on lower volume. Really wanted to see a bit more of a pullback here. ACI, looks like we could be curling back up here. I'm going to take half size here for a bounce, just above the $half. Okay, broke the $half and immediately reclaimed. This volume was quite low as well. Yeah, I'm going to add here. This volume is remaining low on this breakdown. Good morning, amiga. Mirga. Gaber. Man, words. Some of these names are always hard to pronounce. So I'm in here with normal size, a bit more aggressive than normal, but I liked how this volume was light on this breakdown here. Looked bullish to me. So in with moderate size. It's really struggling to break and hold above, say, 453. Okay, there we did get a nice little spike through that. All right. Can we hit 60s? Okay, took half off there. Want to see a further extension, maybe up to 470, low 470s maybe. That'd be the ideal target. Still have half size here. Hit 65. Still want to see 470s though. $69.70. 73. We're out. Nice. Nice base hit on that one. Good morning, Dangan. Good morning, J Hash. Good morning, Hash 285. Good morning, Boohey Trader. Hope you're all doing well today. Good way to start out the week for me here. Yeah, that was a very strong trade. When I saw this break down on low volume and we were constantly bouncing off of this level, I felt enough conviction to add into that. Nice base hit. This wasn't alive. I mean, it was strong. It's either B plus or A minus. I'll probably give it A minus. Only reason was because this did feel a little top heavy. I was buying on the upper end. So if this did flush, that might have been like a $20 loser. So that's the only reason I'm giving it an A minus. Buenos dias, Capitan. Buenos dias. Good morning, sir. Nice way to start it off here. HXHX is moving quite a lot, but it is a penny stock. So I will probably not touch this one. It's too cheap. So AZI did retrace. You could argue buying here for the next curl. This volume was a low volume breakdown, so this isn't a terrible spot to buy. Good morning, Tristan. It's not as clean as this setup, though. This setup was very clean. This one's a little less. Not as convinced on this one. This would probably be like a B rating for me. I'd like to see a further breakdown. If we saw a further breakdown with continued low volume, then it would be an A quality for me, I think. Yeah, for now, AZI, I'm still slightly bullish on. We are in that uptrend. We do have the lighter volume on this pullback, but it's not a super ideal setup. That's why I'm hesitant to want to jump in here. I'm probably just going to play the wait and see approach for now. Don't have as high conviction on this one. On the flip side, if we do see this break out, it is realistic to see this thing go from here to like something crazy like 520. Considering the first leg here, if this does break out, I would definitely see it. Yeah, this is more what I was looking for. Yeah. So can we get a bit more? I'd like to see low 430s. What was the low of this candle? 34. 34 would have been okay. I really wanted like 32 though. So volume has increased, not as significant as this area or this area. Right, this move still feels like a bit of an overreaction relative to these two. But given that this is increased volume on the push down, I need to be a little more careful while jumping in this. We are still quite extended in range of this move. Yeah, tough knife to catch there. I would have had to essentially be buying in here knowing that the last candle had increased volume. Like I said, this volume is lighter than the other pullback areas, so maybe I was being too conservative. Didn't feel very clean in any case. I mean, hey, maybe it doesn't even bounce here. It could just roll over and do another leg down. Yeah. This is on light volume, though. So this next leg down... Alright, I went and got in there. This next leg down had lighter volume. This feels a little cleaner. Only half size, though. Given the extensions on these, I'm a little bit more hesitant to just jump in and add. Good morning, market taker. Ooh, you're right about CMCT recovering. I'm in this, so I gotta focus on this, but good eye catching that. All right, so cutting that for a small loss. Didn't quite time the bottom correctly. How far was I from the bottom on this? Low of 16. So I was 9 cents from the bottom. My issue is that because we had larger volume on this push down, I didn't have as much conviction to hold for a curl. And because I didn't get the timing right for the bottom, thought the best case was just damage mitigation. I mean, the pullback was honestly pretty good. It's just the only problem was that was my entry. I got in a little bit too early. Yeah. Small $2 loss. You're short at 492. That's crazy if you time the top. My hats off to you if you actually time the top on that. Yeah, very interesting pattern this is done too, right? You're just having these spikes, and then it just fades, spikes, and then fades, spikes again. And the volume has been increasing each time too, right? Volume is somewhat small, much higher, much higher. So you're seeing this kind of reach an extreme. Okay, so ACI does look like it got the bounce, so I could have held for break even or a small profit, but knowing I didn't get the timing right kind of ruined the setup for me. Okay, so we've had 3 minutes of pullback. Volume is much lower on this pullback. But we had it similar here, right? Volume was decreased while I was holding here, and we saw a big volume push down. So I'm a bit iffy to want to get in here, just because this has a history of doing a jackknife after low volume. Let's see here, this is a very clean looking 1 minute high. Yeah, and it's just this very clean setup. So we see the same pattern. Low volume pullback into a clear signal, higher volume. Granted, the candle's not closed yet, but looks like a fake out. If we look at the pattern of the last two rugs, it pushed down for a couple minutes, about 3 minutes for both, before curling. So maybe I could watch for 1 or 2 minutes of continued pullback if we see that. If it just curls here, then fair enough. I just missed the play. VELO is also making a significant move, granted on lower volume. Yeah, so we are seeing continuation down. Volume slightly lower than the last minute. Not by much, though. I think I need to be patient. Probably looking for 440s for an entry, if I'm being honest. So final push there in the last seconds. VELO, you're short. Well, good luck. Looks like I missed the chance, maybe? Well, maybe not. So low was 45. I was really looking for 40. Yeah, I would be careful with VELO, with shorting it, just because it's super low volume. If it's moving like that, volume comes in. And the news catalyst is quite strong on it, so I would just be cautious if I were you with that. So we're actually seeing the volume remain constant through this pullback. It's Not letting up quite as much as it did before. Makes me a bit hesitant to really want to jump on. You also had the very, very obvious 1 minute setup, where you had 3 minutes of lighter volume pullback. Very clear 1 minute high. And then the floor just got pulled out under it. I also got 4 minutes till the half hour. So got to keep that in mind too. Very nice break though. Seeing some volume return as well. The low of that candle was 42. The yellow still kind of curling here. Yeah, I really wanted to try and get in here around like 12 or 1180s. Main thing is just this is a very clearly good news catalyst. Like after this news catalyst, it is expected that the price would go up. It's kind of why I wanted to get in here for just a reduced pullback for the next leg, but not quite. It looks like significant resistance around 480. Kind of in that area. Okay, so we had another attempt curl here. Immediately rolled over. Volume's low though, so unclear if this is real or not. Good morning, sir. Good morning, good morning. Okay, pretty big flush there. Very hard pressed down. Still light volume though. Yeah, this one was just kind of, right? We had 3 major candles up. Now we just have like 15 candles, 10 candles of pullback. Good morning, Get Calm Trade. Good morning. AZI is also making another leg here. Not super interested in it, given its movement, but it's definitely not out of play. Still watching it. Thanks for the 100s. I don't know how that works if just like clicking it. Does that just like make a thing show up every time you click it? Oh, it does, yeah. Cute. Alright, so we're at the half hour. We'll see if we get any news that comes out. Still watching VELO because it is at the highs. CMST and AZI are both still relatively in play. So watching both of them as well. Sorry, you're late, Cap. Was locked in today on my trades. Oof. I hope nothing bad happened from that. ELAB, very big spike, low volume though. We do have news. Achieves globally recognized certification for aerospace defense. Okay, seems like a so-so catalyst. Really depends on how important that certification is, if it's something easy to achieve or not. This stock is getting brutalized recently. I mean, you just look at the daily, this thing's been just falling off a cliff. Yeah, we had 10,000 up, and we got, looks like 30,000 down. Definitely putting this on watch, though. For now. My only thought is, how overextended are we on ELAB on the daily? Right, because this could just be something that would be a catalyst to push this back up, because this is quite an extension down. But on the same flip, probably some kind of dilution happened here, right? Like it wouldn't be too crazy to assume that, given the kind of chart this is. Because there's recent downward pressure, there could be bag holders looking to sell on any pop. I guess realistically, the best thing for this to validate it would be to see more volume come in. Right? Because 30,000 for the highest volume candle, not really too impressive. Especially for a $2 stock. We're already up to 60 viewers. I appreciate all you guys that are here. If you're liking the stream, do hit the like button. Helps me out. And I do appreciate it. Yeah, mostly just watching VELO, CMCT, AZI, and ELAB on separate charts. Yeah, this just doesn't really have the volume behind it right now. CMCT getting a surge here. Volume isn't actually that high, though, relative to this move, this volume. I don't know how to interpret that. Looks a bit noisy to me. Yeah, what a crazy spike into just a reversal here. All right, I'm in there at 39, right? This pop down is on pretty low volume. Okay. Dang, this went all the way to 33? I thought I got the entry pretty good, but I guess Yeah, it was 6 cents off. Okay, let's see if we get a bounce from that. Or if we just roll over. This is twice now we've had this kind of reversal into a big push down. This volume's a bit weird. It was lighter on this huge knife down. Makes me have some conviction in a bounce. I'm very concerned that my timing was again incorrect though. Looks like a lot of stocks are kind of rolling over right now. ELAB and VELO both are rolling over at the moment. I don't feel confident enough to add because of my entry being too high. This still feels like it has potential to go back up here. This drop down was on lower volume than it should have really been. Hmm. Yeah, I'm a little bit too iffy about it. I still think this is oversold, but the fact it's churned like this for so long seems a bit strange. When we had this pop up here, and it immediately got pushed down too, I'm worried that there could have been a seller here, and they were waiting for this pop to re-engage. The problem is the volume's so light now, right? Even on this push down, this volume is still super light. Yeah, I was in that trade for 9 minutes. Felt like an eternity. It's rough because, again, I feel like this pullback was on too light of volume, but it is already extended on no news. That's what I tell my wife. 9 minutes is an eternity. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Trust you guys. Have a wonderful Monday. I'm walking away green, but it wasn't pretty. I mean, well, what do you mean by it wasn't pretty? Do you mean that you didn't follow your rules or that it was just a very chaotic event? Also, CMC2 did end up having a boom here, so unfortunate that I got stopped out. Well, I didn't get stopped out, but I lost conviction in it. Somewhat bullish on CMC2 5-minute. Yeah, no, it's still definitely, certainly in play. Even you can tell just from the 1 minute, it's still going higher, right? We're making legs up. When we had this pullback on this most recent one, right, you had the failed attempt here, this volume push down was actually pretty low. Half of this volume came in near the bottom here, right? And then when you had this next leg down, it was still non-existent volume. But the problem is like, why then are you going sideways for 8 minutes? The moment you see a breakout, it gets pushed back down. To me, it was too much, right? I was willing to hold through this consolidation for the next, like, move back up, but seeing us break here and then immediately pull back below it, that was too much for me. My entry was already not ideal. MGX, I'll go ahead and take a look at that. Oh, I see, yeah. So no news. We do have a little bit of a random spike here, right? But the volume's still super low, right? Relative volume especially, right? No real high relative volume. What does the spread even look like on this? Okay, 7-cent spread. It's kind of big. Also, the shares outstanding is very high. So yeah, very high float, low volume, no news. It's a pass for me. Man, another. So we had one curl attempt here and then a hard flush here. Low volume on the push down. Had another attempt and a push down. Although this one's on lighter volume. More of not following rules, but was seeing some items from a different perspective that actually encouraged me to cost average down. That ended up being a good move, but not comfortable. In general, I don't like averaging down whenever you didn't plan for it, right? Like for example, with this trade, I was a little bit tempted to add here, but I didn't plan for it. I was really hoping for this to immediately jackknife and recover, like a V-shaped recovery. So the fact that the trade wasn't playing out the way I wanted meant that adding, right? You should really only add when everything is going correctly, right? I had only one winner today so far, but it was a really, really good winner. Or was it for here? Right, but like I had the conviction to add, and yeah, no, this was a much higher quality trade, and I had planned on it. I was saying, okay, if this holds up well, then I will add to it. So if you planned for it, that's one thing, but if you did it impulsively afterwards, then you were on AZI as well. I traded AZI, but my order was set to market hours instead of extended. So I had to enter on the next micro pullback. Got out green though. Well, take it as a lesson. That's all I can really say, you know. Let me get MGX out of here. I don't want this one in. All right, so I'm sitting up $10 on the day. What am I, 1 and 2? Yeah. One pretty strong hit, two relatively weak. Bailed early. Or bailed on weakness. Nothing too crazy. I'm also being cautious because I know, right, last week we had a bunch of cold days last week. This is definitely much better, but even in terms of just like the move percentages, right, we're not having anything that's above 50%, right? What's the biggest move? Biggest move being CMCT, and this one's only up 40%. I mean, okay, sure, it was up 50% at its highs, but not really the greatest momentum in terms of just percentage movers. We're having some stocks kind of moving up with no news, and the volume is somewhat there for some of them. But we're not seeing exceptionally high volume, and we're not seeing high percentage moves. It's a lot more condensed. Good morning, not teamer. No teamer, not teamer. Yeah, CMCT is really just kind of like starting to get weird now, right? You're starting to see this kind of like fake breakdown, fake breakout, fake breakdown, fake breakout. Very range filled. Hey, Cap, what is your plan after today? Or after day 50, do you plan to continue streaming using the same broker? No. I mean, well, I suspect the answer is going to be no. What I suspect, and I haven't run the numbers yet, is that gross, before commissions and fees, I'm going to be profitable. But I know statistically, historically, I'm only a little profitable. So what I suspect is going to happen is I'll look at the gross returns, I'll see I'm profitable, and I'm going to see the commissions, and it's going to make me probably roughly break even or a little bit unprofitable. I want to go at least to 50 days because that's just a clean data set number. But yeah, I suspect if I'm not even profitable, I shouldn't be doing this, right? I was unprofitable with my free broker, Thinkorswim, but now that they're having all these issues with not letting people day trade or execute orders properly, yeah, I'm mostly just looking to try Webull. Like, I think that's the big one. I've tried a handful of free brokers in the past, and right, a lot of them just kind of suck. I mean, they're free, so I can't diss them that much. But yeah, I suspect that Lightspeed is eating about 30% of my profits in the negative, right? So like, if I exchanged and made like, we'll just say $100 profit and I lost $80 from losses, right? So I would be gross 20. But then like the commissions will probably be like $30 or something. And I'm talking across multiple trades, right? So I would assume that I'm break even to slightly red. And that's just the reality, you know? It doesn't help that this market's been slower. I think if we were in a hotter market, like if you look at my videos from before I started the challenge where I was trading with larger size and the market was hotter, I was having days where I was hitting like, I had a $200 winning day. I had multiple hundreds. And even after commissions, I was looking at like my Lightspeed and I was like doing like 500 a month, right? After commissions. So yeah, in the hotter months, I was doing fine, but specifically with me trading a smaller account and in a cold market with the commissions and fees, very, very difficult to overcome that. Negative expected value is very high with that. You tried iBurk, Lightspeed, and Schwab. Webull blows the doors off of all of them. All. I don't know. I mean, I'm a sucker for Thinkorswim. I'm a sucker for them. They have amazing charts, and the fact that I'm using Thinkorswim charts, a free broker's charts, over a premium platform like Lightspeed just shows how good Thinkorswim is. I mean, before Thinkorswim started restricting, I would strongly say that Thinkorswim is better than Webull, but I'm not really sure anymore. But yeah, I'll look at it day 50 and we'll decide from there. But I would say, and this is just my speculation, I would say there's an 80% chance that I'm going to switch off of Lightspeed at the end of day 50. So if that happens, I might need to take a couple days off streaming so I can alternate brokers, or I could just try and prep one early, like put 5,000 in another broker while I wait for day 50, and by the time it's settled, I'll be ready to switch. So that could be another thing. GZXN? Okay, I'll go ahead and check that out. Agreed. Used to be a broker for Schwab and recently left Fidelity. Webull definitely better, at least for me. Got it. GZXN looking good though. We do have news. China. Okay, it's a Chinese stock. Daily looks horrendous. All right, this thing's just bled into the ground. Actually, this is horrid. Daily chart looks... This is rug pull city. Like, even 2 months ago, this thing was up 90% higher. It's lost 90% of its value in 2 months. So either they just suck as a company or they're diluting like crazy. Yeah, this news doesn't feel great to me. What is the float on this? I mean, we got a lower float, but again, this is clearly diluted, so I wouldn't trust this. This one's a very big hit or miss kind of stock. Reverse split on the 11th, yeah. So I assumed either reverse split or dilution just because there's a mismatch between Thinkorswim and Lightspeed, right? Lightspeed is reporting 11 million and Thinkorswim is reporting 1 million. Weeble. Yeah. Yeah, this one looks super sketchy. Again, I'm not saying that it won't run. I'm just saying this thing has the potential to rug really, really hard. I mean, historically, this is a stock that dumps like crazy. But if it is going to pump, then it's probably going to pump really hard, too. Right? So, that's something to think about. It's a significant volume. This news catalyst is just kind of mid. Yeah, I'm a Gen Zer now or something, or an Alpha, Gen Alpha. Man, it's so mid. What a mid catalyst, bro. Yeah, I think I might just be a spectator of this. I don't really know how much I trust it. We are at the top of the hour, so we'll see if we get any continuation or follow-up here. Very small cushion for me on the day. $10 up. Okay, so we're seeing declining volume. Okay, nice little breakout. All right, we were trading in the 220s. Pretty big volume coming through here. Looks like a pretty big seller at 44. Has everyone hit the like button? Well, considering there's 72 people watching, I would say that not everyone has hit the like button. And if you're liking the stream, maybe hit the like button. It helps me out. Yeah, this thing's really getting some nice volume coming in. I'm just still so skeptical of it because of its daily. There's got to be so many people underwater here. And even on the daily, you've got clear resistance around the 280s. Very clear resistance. Although we did have a big seller at 44 and we broke through that. Used iBerk for a few months, hated it. Yeah, I used it too. I thought it was like one of the worst brokers, just under Fidelity. Because Fidelity, I mean, no. You got to give the last place to Robinhood. So in terms of day trading, Robinhood's probably the worst, followed by Fidelity, followed by Interactive Broker, in my opinion. I'm just talking about like execution speed and whatnot. JZXN got a small short at 250, just a starter, low float. Yeah, low float, and the thing is when a stock is pressed down so hard like this, right, you can see these really, really crazy moves. Because everybody's betting against it. So this certainly could make a monster move. No execution problems with Webull. Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, there's a reason why I'm debating on going with Webull, right? Because I think it is one of the better ones. Yeah, flip-flop, your timing for these shorts is impeccable, right? Just a very clear rejection off of 250. Very impressive. Wait, maybe flip-flop is the reason these stocks are going down. He said he shorted at 250. He's the reason. He must have been the selling pressure this whole way. I see. It all makes sense now. He's actually a whale in disguise. I'm on to you, flip-flop. What the heck happened here? So UNF, insane move. This thing's up over $100, 170 to 240. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's a large cap? Uni First Corporation. Yeah, I have no idea what this is. Okay, so it looks like an acquisition kind of thing. Crazy move, though. I'm not touching that. SIDU breaking out, but it's a big float. I'll take a look at it. No, I mean, I just looking at it, I can see how slow it's moving. Even when it moved yesterday, it was really grinding for pennies. I can't trade that. I did forget to do my top of the hour daily promo, so if you guys are liking the stream, I'm a relatively smaller creator looking to grow the channel, so if you're liking what you're seeing, I do stream every day, so maybe consider subscribing. Check it out more often. I do post my results regardless if I win or lose. At the end of the day, it's all about the process. Yeah, JZXN, I'll be honest, I just don't trust this stock. I just don't trust it. We're getting increasing volume though. Maybe I should give it a poke. 1/4 size. This thing, if this keeps having volume increase, this could actually go up significantly. I was looking at HX earlier. It's just too cheap. Since I'm trading with commissions, I really need the stock to move as much sense as possible. So basically, the cheaper a stock is, the less optimal it is to trade it. If I get below a stock, if the stock's below $1, it's basically to the point where I can't even really trade it. Front porch trader, it's a repeat offender. It's hard to judge this. Like, this certainly isn't dead, right? You've had the volume increase on this pullback. We've had lighter volume. Sounds like the donkey show in Tijuana. You know it's wrong, but you can't keep your eyes off of it. God. So the decimalization of the stocks you don't like? No, it's not that. It's so when I'm buying and selling, I'm paying commission. So because I pay commission, I need the stock to move a relative amount of cents to be even worth taking the trade. If I'm getting in the stock and selling it for 5 cents profit, and that's like my target profit, right? Because if you're buying a stock that's 50 cents, 5 cents of profit, that's a 10% hit. That's solid by percentage hit. But in terms of cents hit, 5 cents a share, if that's the best I can hit, that's an issue because I'm having to take more shares to make up for it, and that's just causing me to pay higher commission. Yeah, so we're getting volume coming through here. Never trust the Chinese stocks. Although I might get in here depending on how this goes. I'm still at 1/4 size, yeah. No, I can't get in here. If this whole thing was a fake out, then it's going to go a lot lower. Right, it either recovers here and actually goes back higher, or it's more likely just going to keep bleeding lower. You're not making much this morning. There's not any really big moves. So yeah, only 3 shorts for me and all 3 kind of crappy. Well, yeah, I mean, the biggest moves have been like 40%. That's okay, but it's not like anything crazy. So we've had 2 candles here, very high selling pressure. This candle's been lower, but I'm worried because this is a Chinese stock. You could have a massive, massive dumper, right? If they were moving this up to attract people, this is a stock that could go down a ton. Got it. Call it early. Good green day for me. Good luck, all. Well, I mean, fair enough. You have a good rest of your day, Telemann. I'm still here at least till 9. We'll see if we get anything of interest, but yeah, it's not the greatest environment. BELO. Got a bit of a volume surge here on this break. This is the one with the news catalyst that's good. So this actually has a reason to be up. just went to half size, but if I'm trading this one, it's got to be back to quarter. Yeah, we're getting volume coming in now, too. Might be a seller at 23. A lot of volume went through there, but it didn't go higher. There might have been a seller up here, 23. Okay, the seller at 23 looks like they might be gone. Continuing to see increasing volume here. Had it at 1405. Oh, 1405 average now. Okay, I am in there, quarter size. Ooh, very nasty rug on that. No news for it. Oh no. Yeah, news just popped for this. Private placement. That's rough. Glad I had the right sizing, but what a rug. I'm going to see if I can get some kind of bounce on this. The private placement shouldn't have really impacted it that much. Hmm. Now, given that this is up on the daily too, no. Okay, so yeah, I gotta get out of this, I think. Yeah, so they also announced, so they did two different things. Yeah, so it looks like I just got caught in an offering there. Rough. Very interesting timing that they announced it right here after this move up. Well, that's the theme for today's video. I got caught in dilution. Oh, that is so unlucky. But it happens. 3.6 million shares at 825. I was okay with the 30 million private placement. But it looks like they're doing it through shares at 6 or 825. Yeah, the problem is like I don't immediately know the terms because this isn't just like a quote unquote normal secondary offering where I just immediately know, okay, I got to get out. This one was a little bit more ambiguity to it, less clear. Yeah. Very annoying how they did this too. So they put out really good news, right? The price rallies. And then I don't know what this timing was, but somehow they got the timing to where right as this move happened is when they did the announcement. I'm just glad I took the right size. Because if I didn't, this would have been like a $50 or $100 loss, right? If I didn't size correctly. That's why sizing each trade is really important. Even getting stuck in dilution doesn't kill you. I rate this because like it was a good setup initially. I think I gotta give it F just because it turned into a dilution situation. All right. Getting stuck whenever that catalyst comes out that's negative. I'm not necessarily blaming me because I got in not seeing the news because the news wasn't out yet. And then when I added, the news looked okay at first. Right? And then as I'm reading the news, I'm realizing, okay, actually, this is not okay. I have to cut it. To calculate what my entry was. 1426. Yeah, so $35 loss in that trade. Rough how that works out. Yeah, so this was a quarter size that I averaged. I can even pull it up here just to show you guys real quick. So this was a trade where I entered with quarter size because the stock was much higher priced, higher volatility. So I needed to reduce size. Clearly the correct decision given this. And yeah, I was entering in here for this balance, anticipating it because the volume wasn't super high at the time. But yeah, and even this, I can't buy this. Knowing the catalyst now, my faith, the trust in this has been ruined. But it happens. It's probably been like 3 months since I was caught in dilution. Or like a news catalyst that was overly negative. So I was due for it. Very frustrating for me, though. What's the trouble with the catalyst? It was a private placement. And the issue with that is the person got the shares at $8.25 a share. So they could literally just turn around and sell them right now. There is a chance... Yeah, they're just reiterating this contract. Right? There is a chance that the person doesn't sell or that they have a lockup period of some kind. But just immediately knowing that someone has millions of shares they can sell at $8.25... Ever been halted when bad news comes out? I have not. I have never been stuck in a halt with bad news. I'm very thankful for it. Have you? You have. No, that's got to be gut-wrenching. I mean, I've been stuck in halt downs before when I traded during the day. So I know how it's like to be stuck in a halt down. But if it's a halt pending news or a halt down with bad news, right? No, that would be rough. There is a private placement. Yes, there is a private placement. It was announced right here. It was for $30 million at 3.6 million shares at $8.25 a share. So somebody got a whole bunch of shares super cheap. They got the shares, just to show you, at an average price down here. So they could literally turn around and start dumping them right now. Assuming there's no lockup period. Honestly, like, and I think I made the right decision. I identified the placement. I thought maybe it would be fine, but as I was reading more into it, seeing that the price they got it at. Now, here's the thing. If they got that private placement and the person bought at, we'll say, $10.50 a share, at that point, that's somebody saying, I'm so confident that this is well placed that I'm going to buy closer to the current price. Because normally when you get a private placement, they get the best deal they can at what they think the correct price is, or in that general range. So because the private placement was so much lower than the current price, which was up at like 15, that just that shock, that discrepancy was enough to drive it down. Yeah, it's very frustrating. Well, at this point, I'm just waiting for the half hour because, yeah, I don't see anything else in play. I don't care what this stock does. They've already betrayed my trust, so I'm not giving it my trust again. I sound bitter. No, I guess I am kind of bitter, to be fair. JZXN did end up rolling over. Yeah, went back down. JZXN curling. Sorry for all caps. No, you're fine. Yeah, this was a Chinese stock. Even just looking at the daily, right? This stock has been very, very beaten up. So I was already a bit iffy to touch it. Probably not going to mess with this one. VELO, it just dumped on me. Yeah, I mean, I got stuck in it too. You and me both. I was holding way up here. And I got stuck in this, so I'm right there with you, man. Yep. Private placement. Fortunately, I was still green on the day, so this loss didn't... And I had the correct sizing. So the damage was mitigated a little bit. Right? Only $35 loss, only. But, yeah. It happens. All right, we're coming up on the half hour. See if we get any new catalysts coming out here. Need to pay attention now to my next trade. If my next trade is sloppy, I may need to walk for the day, just because I can emotionally tell I'm a little bit tilted right now. So if my next execution is sloppy, then I might need to call it for the day. Feel like it's almost time to give up on my CMCT short. It's really been holding up so far. Yeah, I mean, it's surprising how well it's held up. I had mentioned it earlier that when we did this breakdown here, it felt like this was on lower volume, and then we just kind of traded sideways. It seems like some kind of base has been formed here. Very interesting how well it's held up. Seems like a lot of news is released to manipulate retail traders. I mean, it's just business, right? I don't take personal offense to it. Yeah, companies announce secondary offerings, they announce private placements. The reality is when you buy something and then news comes out while you're holding it, that's not the company out to get you. And the opposite is also true. Like, a company might put out good news while you have a position, so you could profit from it. So I don't think it's right to say that they're out to get you if they're putting out news that makes the price go up, right? Companies want their stock price to go up. At least most of them do. Sometimes it feels like some of these companies, you're kind of wondering what they're doing with the headlines that they're putting out. But I don't take offense to it, not personally. I just chalk it up to unfortunate timing, or rather just the odds, right? If you trade enough times, if you have enough exposure, you're going to get caught in some kind of bad catalyst. Thanks, you're up about $2 for the day and you're done. See you tomorrow. You have a good one, AJ. Thanks for stopping by. Not really seeing any stocks come into play here. Looks like the 830 might be a dud. SID, you guys, someone mentioned this one earlier. Okay, interesting at least. So I didn't want to touch this because it was moving too slow, but I mean, this is much better movement. Awarded contracts, so strong catalyst. KITT. Good call out on KITT. It's a bit too cheap for me, so I'm not going to mess with that one, but that does look like it has volume as well. So good call out. What was this contract for? Like how much does it say? Doesn't say the like how much this is for, but it seems the total is 151 billion, but it's not all for this, I think. Yeah, this might have been one to get in for a micro pullback for. Just considering the news is good on it. And we're having this extension from the previous day too. It's just creeping higher. Good volume inflow into it. Yeah, it's a higher float. I acknowledge that. Reason I'm interested is because this has ranged quite a bit, and the catalyst is very clearly strong. So there's enough things in play now. I know someone brought this stock up earlier, but I had mentioned how the range of it was too small because of the float. But now that we have a very strong catalyst on top of that, and we're seeing this range having increased, that makes this more tradable. Unfortunately, it's just kind of gone straight up, right? You had micro pullbacks here you could have bought, but you didn't get a very clean pullback. This is kind of just going straight up, green candle after green candle. Even on the daily, we're way up here. So this is an extremely extended chart on the daily. Right, and this stock has a history of gapping up and giving everything back. Even worse, actually. Right, even just looking at the daily, when this stock gapped up like a month ago, it sold off entirely and then gapped way down. So this company could do shenanigans with dilutions. The thing that makes this even more difficult to chase is because not only are we going straight up, but we're going straight up after we just had a major run, right? So at this point, it's much more extended. Your JZXN short at 250 is finally starting to crack lows. Gonna keep holding it. We need something new. Yeah. Yeah, JZXN. I was just hesitant on it. Chinese stock. Very, very negative drawdown on the daily. Hmm. $180 has a pretty big seller, or a pretty big buyer on it for SIDU. Looks like around 200,000. So it looks like the 1 minute pullback is resolving well, but I don't know. We've had a straight up run after just having a pretty big run the previous day. This thing feels so extended to me. I was a bit more hopeful when we were first seeing this pulling away, right? Going from 155s to 176, like that's 10 cents a minute. That's much better range. But now we've kind of consolidated, and even with 1 million shares of volume, we're not really ranging as much. But yeah, very nice 1 minute pullback setup. Looks like it worked out pretty well. They're going to push it to the warrant price. I wouldn't doubt it. It's another thing you always got to be careful with stocks like this, where it's just selling off. Right? In addition to dilution, there's probably some kind of warrants that are going to hold it back. And even this is a pretty nasty reversal. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I would much rather just wait for a better setup. Even with the catalyst being good, us having an increased volume inflow, the thing's just not moving enough. Probably just gonna wait for 9 o'clock here. See if we get anything on the scanners. And leave it at that. Yeah, CMCT and AZI both kind of just ranging right now. JZXN made another low. Can't really say I'm surprised about this either. There's nothing really else. I don't even know what else to watch at this point. Yeah, I am watching AZI on a side chart. Please, sir, what do you use for news alert? I'm currently using TraderView, or TradingView. I'm assuming you mean TraderView. I'm using Thinkorswim. They offer free news. It's where I get my news from. It's where I got the news for VELO as well, right? So I saw the news come out for this, was bullish on it, tried trading it up here. Saw the second news catalyst that came out here. So I think Thinkorswim is pretty reliable for their news. I definitely recommend them. I'm not affiliated or anything, of course. But from my experience, they've been quite good. Occasionally, they will be a little bit delayed, but it's relatively rare. And outside of anomalies, they usually report. Covered JZXN at 188 for 62-cent profit. Well, there you go. Yeah, it's... I don't know. You make it look easy, Flip-Flop. You do. But there's certainly a lot of risk management that needs to go into it. MNTS. Go ahead and take a look at it. I mean... Okay, this price action looks weird. Why? From $11, from what, 980 to 11, back to 980. All in super light volume. It doesn't look like we have news. Just a random pop. All right, 10,000 shares of volume, random pop. Hmm. I mean, yeah, there's no news. Low volume. Can't really mess with this one too much. News at 9. Yeah, we'll see. It'll be very interesting if news comes out on this stock at 9. Right? You just see a random surge of volume for 10, 20,000 shares right before news comes out. Like, you could maybe speculate insider trading or something if news does come out for this in the next hour. Unless there was like some reason they anticipated it, right? Like the company's like, oh, we're going to announce something by X day, and this is like the last day. You know, there can always be instances where someone could infer something's going to happen. But it would certainly be interesting if news came out. I'm not really holding my breath, though. Random volume spikes like this happen sometimes. Pretty nice bounce, honestly. Right, this went down to 947, and it's bounced almost 50 cents. Getting more volume coming in. This is actually kind of high volume for no news. Not only that, but this movement, this range is actually a bit high too. Yeah, that combined with the lower float. Certainly interesting. Okay, got a 6,000 share buyer at 10. All right, we got 5 minutes to the top of the hour. Staying patient. Sorry if I'm being a little bit quiet. Still just thinking about the rug, as well as just observing how slow the market is right now. Maybe not the best time to say it, but if you're enjoying the stream, maybe hit the subscribe button. I do stream every day, regardless of results, even if I get stuck in a rug pull. So, just goes to show, I try to be transparent. But yeah, today just not really seeing anything else to follow up on. We've had some stocks that have moved, but they've a lot of them have just fizzled out. They're not moving quickly. And if they're not moving quickly, I really can't get involved with it. A lot of grind today. Yeah. We've had a couple okay movers, but the only one that really had volume was SUDI, was it? SDUI? I don't have it pulled up anymore. But it was getting like 1 million shares a minute, but the float was just too high and it wasn't ranging. So missing the qualities needed. Holiday volume. Could be. Yep, patience is everything. SIDU. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I mean, it's had good volume, but the float's just too high. And like even this range, it's relatively slow. Right, realistically, if you're holding for any kind of curl here, you'd be holding 10 minutes for like a 15-cent curl. At best. Check my share size. Make sure we're on 50. Good. All right, 9 o'clock. Let's see if we get anything new on the scanners. MNTS trying to break out. I have been watching the level 2 for it. Yeah, we're definitely in some kind of breakouty kind of situation. This volume is very strange for a stock that has no news. All right, this is also a death spiral stock. All right, we had a huge gap down here. You're right around 1062. A little bit higher than that. Yeah, 1062 is very clear resistance. Beyond that, you've got a pretty big range here you could cover. But again, the issue is just like this volume is so light. But yeah, give it till 9:05. See if I have any stocks on the scanners. Then I will decide from there. AZI. Yeah, it's kind of curling back. It's time for you to switch over to your other brokers. See you all tomorrow. Thanks for the stream. See you in Discord. Yeah, you have a good one, Flip Flop. Thanks for stopping in. Glad you did well today. Yep, I'll give it a couple more minutes here. See if we get anything on the scanners before I clock out here. Still holding your position from last week, 180 AZI. Well, I mean, kudos to you for holding through all of that movement up. I mean, if that's true, you're up what? You're up like 200%, 300%. Just didn't get that sell signal, huh? I mean, at some point, though, you got to start to ask, I mean, you know, like, pics of it happening, right? Because, I mean, that's a pretty awesome move to capture. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit skeptical. But, yeah, I'm probably going to end it here. It's 9:05. I'm not seeing any new stocks in play on the scanners. Just go over my results again here. So, not a great day, right? Had a really, really good start, right? One significant winner, two relatively small losers. Then getting stuck in that dilution really just sucked, right? And I'm glad I got out when I did, because got out at 12.65 and it went down another 65 cents. So it was definitely the correct decision to get out. Selling all at 10. Well, I mean, good luck if you get to 10. That's very ambitious. But it could do it. Yeah, all right. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I hope you guys have a good rest of your